So hello again, vinyl community. Another installment of Rock's 7-Year Itch, and this time we're looking at 63 to 69, and party was British Invasion or British Beat, and part B is America Holds Its Own, because despite the British invasion, there was a lot going on stateside too. Some groundbreaking albums and singles in that period, 63 to 69. So you can tell by the t-shirt that one of the artists we're speaking about is Bob Dylan. So with no further ado, let's start off with some vinyl and Bob Dylan's Freewheeling Bob Dylan. And this is an album from 1963. And yeah, classic protest songs, Blowing in the Wind and A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall, and talking World War III blues, Oxford Town, Don't Think Twice, It's all right. So yeah, this is a really good album, and 63 Bob Dylan, so acoustic Bob Dylan, but yeah, Blowing in the Wind was one of my dad's very favorite records. So yeah, love this album. So good, I've got it twice. I've got it on CD as well as on vinyl. And then sticking with Bob Dylan, because he's, yeah, probably the key American artist of that period. Move on to 3 CDs actually. Highway 61 Revisited. So we've got Like a Rolling Stone, which was covered by the Rolling Stones on the Stripped album. And this has got, yeah, also got It Takes a Lot to Laugh, It Takes a Train to Cry, Ballad of a Thin Man, Highway 61 Revisited, and Desolation Row, amongst others. So yeah, classic album. And equally classic is Bring It All Back Home, which has got Mr. Tambourine Man on it. We'll come back to that. Maggie's Farm, which is a great song. It's All Over Now, Baby Blue. It's All Right, Ma, I'm Only Bleeding. And yeah, Subterranean Homesick Blues. So Bob Dylan, his creativity and lyric writing just going from strength to strength. And then double album in the vinyl copy, but yes, Rainy Day Woman numbers 12 and 35, the epic Visions of Johanna, bluesy, folksy stuff such as Stuck Inside a Mobile with the Memphis Blues Again, and Leopard Skin Pillbox Hat, and the wonderful ballad Just Like a Woman, and yeah, finishes off with Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands. So yeah, we've just spoke about the great man himself, but yeah, folk rock with the Byrds' greatest hits. So yeah, fantastic collection this. Mr. Tambourine opens, then you've got Turn, 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 All I Really Want to Do. On the second side, you've got 8 Miles High, great song. Mr. Spaceman, and So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star, amongst others. So yeah, the Byrds, yeah, kind of created country folk rock, and yeah, Graham Parsons a big influence, but yeah, Dave Crosby and co. Just a great band, and yeah, the feel of this album is like, the 60s. So yeah, the Byrds' greatest hits. And yeah, the Graham Parsons and Mr. Hillman, Chris Hillman, Sneaky Pete, and Chris Etheridge. These ladies in the shed look a bit like ABBA. But yes, it's a bit before ABBA's time. But yeah, this is a great album. They do a fantastic version of James Carr's Dark End of the Street. You've got Hot Burrito 1 and 2, and Hippie Boy and Wheels. So yeah, this is a classic album from '68. And then if Bob Dylan is the big gun, following hot on their heels are the Beach Boys and Pet Sounds. This is the sounds of 1966. This set the benchmark that the Beatles had to beat when they came out with Sgt. Pepper's, but the songwriting and the orchestration, and there's a great sort of Brian Wilson biopic, and in that film they show, making some of the tracks and getting the cellos in, looking at the different sounds that could be incorporated on a pop record. So again, yeah, this sets the bar so high in musicality, and setting the sounds of summer. It follows really their big hits that you find on the Beach Boys' Golden Greats. So yeah, the Beach Boys start singing about surfing and hot rod cars, etc., and fun, Little Deuce Coupe, Help Me Rhonda, California Girls, etc. And then Good Vibrations must be, in the top 10 of all-time classic singles. So that's the Beach Boys and surfing and drag racing and car related songs. A lot of it probably derived from the 3-minute singles that Chuck Berry had pioneered in the period 55 to 62. So yeah, Beach Boys, another essential album from the period 63 to 69. Just wanted to go back to Pet Sounds and read some of the names of the tracks. So we've got Wouldn't It Be Nice, That's Not Me, the fantastic Sloop John B, God Only Knows, Pet Sounds, and Caroline No. And the back we've got all the black and white photos of the band, Mike Love and Carl Wilson, as well as Brian Wilson. Very much a family affair, but yeah, I think Brian stayed at home while the Beach Boys went touring without him, and he masterminded this masterwork of 20th century music, Pet Sounds. Right, let's also have a look at some other great individuals of the 60s. So yeah, there's a price tag here from a great record shop or chain in Scotland called Fop Records. Got some really good stuff from there. So this is James Brown's Live at the Apollo. So you've got I Go Crazy, Please, 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 Why Does Everything Happen to Me, Night Train, and all the great sort of exciting danceable tunes, and James Brown just laying down a lot of soul. James Brown, another man with a fantastic voice, is Otis Redding. Of course, Otis had a great career and did some duets, but yeah, he's did Respect, Mr. Pitiful, Shake, Tramp, and of course, tragically killed in a plane accident and sitting on the dock of the bay, posthumous hit in 1968. But yeah, what a legacy for such a short career. But yeah, Otis Redding, you must have that in your collection to cover this period, as well as Lady Soul, the Queen of Soul. Superlatives just can't describe how good a voice Aretha has. And this collection, Aretha's greatest hits, has got Say a Little Prayer, Chain of Fools, Spanish Harlem, Dr. Feelgood. Aretha does a cover of Let It Be, and also Bridge Over Troubled Water, and the Carole King and Jerry Goffin, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. All the tracks on this are masterworks in the soul genre. And then another guy, Stevie Wonder, had a string of classic albums in the 70s. We'll come to that in the next part of our journey of rock's 7-year itch. But of course, he had a great career as Little Stevie Wonder, Fingertips, and yeah, great songs such as A Place in the Sun, Sylvia, Hey Harmonica Man, High Heel Sneakers, which is a cover of a Jerry Lee Lewis song. And then we've got yeah, Uptight, Everything's All Right, My Sharia Moore, For Once in My Life, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, and If You Really Love Me. So these anthology albums for Tamla Motown are great, and you should pick up these anytime you see them. I'm ashamed to say that I had a copy of Smokey Robinson and the Miracles anthology with Shop Around and Finally Got a Job, as well as Tears of a Clown. And I don't know what I was thinking. It was a triple album and I sold it. So that's another lesson for all you record collectors. Don't sell anything. Stevie Wonder, essential Tamla Motown artist. And then more essential artists of the 60s from an American perspective, this guy, I think, had to leave America to become famous. He became famous in the UK, famously managed by Chas Chandler, who was, I think, the bass player in the Animals. So he retired from touring, playing in the band, and became Jimi Hendrix's manager. So the Jimi Hendrix Experience smash hits covers the period 66 to 67. And yeah, you can read for yourself. What a great list of singles. Hey Joe, Foxy Lady, Purple Haze. Yeah. Essential collection of Hendrix, and also essential from 1968. We have Electric Ladyland and the Jimi Hendrix Experience. And on this, you've got Crosstown Traffic, Voodoo Child, Gypsy Eyes. I was going to say Voodoo Child, but it's Voodoo Child Slight Return. But preceding that, the just classic rock feedback guitar using the lyrics of Bob Dylan to great effect and just smashing it out to the park. Dylan's own version of All Around the Watchtower is great, but Hendrix's is just something that I'd heard for the first time on that Stardust album and just blown away. So a man of fantastic music ability died much too young. Electric Ladyland. And then influential album. I have to watch the banana doesn't fall off again. But yeah, famous cover, The Velvet Underground, the cover by Andy Warhol. And yeah, what year is this? I think it's 67 or 68. But yeah, this is the album that didn't really sell well at the time, but the number of bands that thought, oh, we could do this after listening to Lou Reed and co on the what they call the Banana Peel album, The Velvet Underground and Nico. So what else is happening between 63 and 69 in America? We've got, following on the sort of folk rock, acoustic rock, and some wonderful duets. Simon and Garfunkel, formerly known as Tom and Jerry, and yeah, their list of hits is fantastic. Yeah, Mrs. Robinson, The Boxer. One of the happiest songs in the whole rock canon is the 59th Street Bridge Song, also known as Feeling Groovy. Love that. Sounds of Silence, Carver Affair, Homeward Bound, Cecilia, and of course, Bridge Over Troubled Water. Paul Simon went on to have a great solo career as well, but this pair smashed it out of the park with their harmonies and the delicate guitar playing as well. And also on the sort of folksy side of things, We have the Mamas and the Papas and their greatest hits. California Dreaming, what a fantastic song. Mama Cass's voice is amazing. Michelle Phillips, John Phillips. We've got Dancing in the Street, Monday, Monday, Spanish Harlem, and Twist and Shout on this as well. Really great collection. And then some heavy hitters. We've got classic LA band, very heavy. I think I've seen this album categorized as unlistenable classics, but in a cada da vida. And this is a great album from 1968, featuring Eric Bran, Lee Dorman, Doug Ingle, and Ron Bushy, the drummer. And we've got side 2 is just 17 minutes of one song, title song. And we've also got side 1, Most Anything You Want, Flowers and Beads, and finishes with Are You Happy? Rather than Termination, which is the penultimate track on side 1. Really great album. This was on this, featured in this Rock File 3 book that I've referred to in other videos. Also, in 67, another California band, another Los Angeles band, fronted by Jim Morrison, also of the 27 Club. But this is a fantastic psychedelic album, start to finish, Break On Through to the Other Side, Backdoor Man, Light My Fire, the Alabama song, Show Me the Way to the Next Whiskey Bar, which is very apt for a Scotsman, and 20th Century Fox, Backdoor Man, Soul Kitchen, all fantastic tracks. And another great band from 67, Love, and this is Forever Changes. This is an album that you need to have in your collection. So Alone Again, or there's Live and Let Live, Bummer in the Summer, and More Again is a single word, but for the name of the track. And yeah, produced by lead singer Arthur Lee with Bruce Botnick. This album, a copy of this album was presented to Whispering Bob Harris by John Peel when John Peel came back from the States. And I think I'm right in saying that Bob Harris is his sleeve framed on the wall in his studio in his garden, from where he's presented some really great radio shows on Radio 2 in the UK. So that's Love, and an essential album from 63 to 69, Forever Changes. And then another great band from the late 60s, Creedence Clearwater Revival and Chronicle. So again, a fantastic lineup of songs, including I Heard It Through the Grapevine, Swamp Rock, Up Around the Bend, I think that was maybe 1970. So Who'll Stop the Rain? Yeah, John Fogerty on lead guitar and vocals, Tom Fogerty on guitars, Stu Cook on bass, and Doug Clifford on drums. So another band with brotherly love, sometimes short-lived. So it's amazing all these bands that have had a great sibling or brothers connection. You've got the Kinks, of course, Ray and Dave Davis. You've got Creedence with John and Tom Fogerty. You've got Dire Straits, and of course, Don and Phil Everly, great brothers. Yeah, they had their falling out too. But I started the 2 episodes about 63 to 69 saying that this would take us on a trip from Liverpool all the way to Woodstock, and 3 days of peace and music. I don't have the triple album, but I've got the director's cut of the film. And yeah, we've got such a great lineup for this fantastic event. 3 days of peace and music, and featured we have Joan Baez, Canned Heat, Joe Cocker, Country Joe McDonald, and Country Joe and the Fish, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Arlo Guthrie, Richie Havens, Jimi Hendrix, who had to wait until the dawning of the last day, Jefferson Airplane, Janis Joplin, Santana, John Sebastian, Sha Na Na, Sly and the Family Stone, 10 years after Elvis, and of course, The Who stole the show. And yeah, Daltrey swinging that mic like an Alassou, and Townsend with the windmill guitar chords, and yeah, fantastic end to the 60s. I think Ultimate was a little after, but yeah, Woodstock, fantastic concert. I wish I'd been there, probably too young. I would have been 12 and a half, so I think my parents would have had something to say if I said I'm away to New England to Woodstock. I probably wasn't aware that it was even going on. Great lineup of artists and a great festival. So that's the end of this episode of Rock's 7-year itch, 63 to 69. And we'll be back with 70 to 76 and some great albums and some great artists to speak about in that particular video. So bye for now. Take care. See you soon.